Okay, and I was also muted. And the chat's not up. Everything is scuffed today. I had to restart my Wi-Fi router. Anyway, yeah. I'm playing R4. So, yeah. The chat is still gone. So that's not good. Oh no, not again. For some reason my Wi-Fi quality is kind of bad, so sorry for any like hiccups in the stream or bad quality. There's not really anything I can do about that, as far as I know. So. Yeah, I don't know why the quality is absolutely terrible. Okay, there, it's connected. You guys are gonna get to watch the thing because I'm trying to make the chat work properly. Oh, great. We get to hear, I think this is Move Me, though. Yeah, I'm really sorry for all the, scuff here. It should just work. There's no reason for it not to work. But whatever. Okay. So let's try this again. That should work. Okay. If it doesn't work, I'm just not gonna, by the time this demonstration's over, it's just not gonna happen. I'm kind of getting pissed off because there's no reason it shouldn't work, but whatever. Okay. So, yeah, it seems like it's not working. Yeah, it's not working. Oh well. One thing I'll try doing is just removing it and adding it again. I might as well, you know. Oh, that's not supposed to be there. There we go. Not that. Okay, let's just do that. And it's still not working. Okay, I'll have to figure that out another time. It should work. There's no reason for it not to work. I'm kind of getting pissed off that it's not, so I need to just not mess with this anymore. Oh, is it working? It looks like it's working. Okay. So, sorry about that. Let's actually get into the game now. Yeah, it's working. Cool. We'll do a Grand Prix.
Welcome to the real racing roots.
Yeah, sorry for that scuff. Let's do the Micromus Mappy this time. I'm not gonna narrate what she's saying because I don't want to. I'll do it in a different stream, and I'll do it in a stupid girly voice. Yeah, I know. I'm a pussy and I don't play with manual. What you gonna do about it? My model just went crazy there for a second. That was weird. Okay. Let's do a random play.
Real Racing Roots 99.
I heard versus the French flag. Forgot about that, man.
3, 2, 1, go!
So for those of you who don't know, this is the easy team. So the whoa, I forgot to set it to digital mode. That was close. Cause I am playing the PS3 version. Okay, there we go. I can play with the D-pad, but I'm used to the analog stick, cause that's how I used to play. Actually, not with a PS2 controller, surprisingly. Given that was the time, I would play both PS1 games and PS2 games with the PS1 DualShock controller. It was a PS1 controller with analog sticks. Because some games either require them or could let you use them. Like this game has full analog support. It doesn't just map the buttons to the stick. If I press the analog just a little bit, the car action moves just a little bit. Which is probably because of the Negcon controller. I need to blow my nose, but I have to wait another lap to do so. And for those of you who don't know, the Negcon was the thing I wanted most of all when I was a small child, pretty much. It was this controller with one weird, like, wheel in the middle of it. It kind of looked like a Nintendo 64 controller that you played with your thumb, and it was made by Namco for this game. Though as far as I know, it basically just was an analog stick that only had left and right input, so you could technically use it on basically any game you want. Whether or not that would be a good idea is another thing entirely. The idea of playing like Castlevania with that, just like, no. Just no. And somehow something like Diablo sounds even worse. You know, guys, I think I'm coming down with something. Got a headache and I'm starting to feel slightly nauseous, and I got the world's worst runny nose. And here I am streaming for you. Appreciation it. There we go. Now I can blow my nose. So Soldo is my second favorite car manufacturer. My favorite is Tarazi, not Tarazi. No, not Tarazi, not at all. Lizard. Lizard is the best. But Assault is a good second. Then Tarazi, and then I absolutely hate H-Soto with a passion. Not a grip fan. I'm a drift fanboy. The drifts on Zelda cars I find to be a bit more mild, than Lizard, which of course means they don't work as well, but it also means they're a lot more manageable. So definitely, there's a trade-off. It is nice that she actually takes me seriously from the start. Because the others don't. I might as well say what she's saying. It's not in the voice. Just gonna feel like doing a voice for her now. Oh, I can't send Arantia talking. Or I can't send Arantia like this. I must call Father up. I'm going to report the race results and declare war on him. What? You don't understand? You see, I promised my father I'd quit as the owner of this team and to get married if the owner didn't, or if the team didn't win this season. So do your best and win win the second race for me. Please get first place, okay? Okay. I promise you guys I'll do an impression of her, and it'll be the most cursed thing on the planet, but not this stream. It's not good Kiba times because my Wi-Fi was going berserk and I thought it was my computer's fault, so I was trying to fix it and couldn't.
3, 2, 1.
With these first stage cars, you don't even have. There's absolutely no skill in revving up at first. You just throw up to maximum. Every single first stage car. And it's not like there's more than one per team or one per like manufacturer, but. Still, those four, you do not need to worry about the initial revving up, like, at all. Yeah, somehow I kept managing to mess up that turn last stream. That's a little, I find it to be a bit more manageable. Get roasted by me. Okay, time for the hard part that's not actually the hard part. I can see how this would easily be the hard part if I was using a grip car, though. And I do feel like grip is supposed to be easier. But I just can't seem to get the handle on it. The first time I played this, it was my sister and I playing versus mode, and of course we both chose the fastest cars we could. And on the advice of the owner of the game, who was my mother, we both chose grip cars. Namely, we chose the grip default 4. And like, so from that time until a while later, I would always use grip cars because I was told that's what I should do. I was told that was easier. And then once I decided, you know what? Lizard is a cool name. It's like lizard, so I'm gonna use that. And then imagine my surprise when I find out that drift cars are like way easier for me. Might be about a sneeze. No, but my nose did get a bit clearer. But I had that odd, weird feeling where it's like, oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, no sneeze. The way he says Floored is like almost indistinguishable. What word he's saying. Man, should I do the DRT next? I guess it'd be better to do the, what do they call it, the other one first, the Italian one. Okay. But I imagine the first stage cars having like about the performance of like a sporty sedan or a cheaper, lower offering of sports car like a Celica or a Miata. Around those level of capabilities, and the second stage has the more like the Supra or the Corvettes, that amount, with the third stage having about the amount like a hypercar, like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or something, or like a the lower end of like a NASCAR car, and then the third stage are somewhere between like normal competitive racing and F1s. To be fair, I might be being influenced by the fact that the both Wisdom and Officer look like Corvettes. They're the Lizard cars. Do you want to set my progress? Why not?
You've got a new card ready to roll.
I've got a new car ready to roll. See that, guys? Crazy, isn't it? I've always liked the look of this one. Fatalia, I think it was called. Sort of looks like a Porsche. Fatalita. Oh, it's right at the T at the end. Yeah, it sort of looks like a Porsche or maybe a Fairlady. Well, to be fair, they should be listening to my suggestions. I'm the driver. You don't really even know that much about racing, so they're right to not listen to your suggestions, honestly. I will forget what she said. Like, she's fine as a manager, but, like, she literally, when I first chose my car, said, but I don't really know what that means about the idea of drifting, the tendency of the tail end to spin out under heavy braking and acceleration.
3, 2, 1, go!
That was a bit much revving.
3 laps to go.
But it is slightly disappointing that a more powerful engine equals a higher revving engine in this game, and I like, it makes sense why they did that, but I still kind of wish that they hadn't, you know? You know, I would go to sleep right after the stream is over, but I gotta stay up to watch a friend's stream. Casa Migliore. That part's really hard when you're using a stage 4 car, but stage 2, it's no problem. Wow, get roasted, moron. Or, as my friend and I used to say, if you'll pardon my French, get butt fucked. That phrase starting out. See that's basically a C5 with a body kit. See it? That's the C5 with a body kit. That's all it is. Which is great because I love the C5. And that body kit doesn't actually look that bad. It looks pretty good, actually. So, in this game, the concept of clean racing is a foreign notion to me. Which is kind of odd because when I'm playing a more simulation type-based game, like Forza, I tend to be the clean racer. I'll try and pass this guy clean. Nope, failed. Anyway, yeah, the races are pitifully easy with this team. There used to be a time when I would struggle with this team, but that was like a billion years ago. That was back when I couldn't get past the underground caverns of Symphony of the Night. These were like these were the two games I mostly played, was R4 and Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And I would love to stream that as long as I can get Konami to give me permission. Actually, I would want to stream the entire Castlevania series in timeline order. So starting with Lament of Innocence, then Castlevania 3, then what comes after that? Curse of Darkness. Then Castlevania The Adventure and Adventure 2. Then whichever game comes in between that and the original. And then, well, the original and Super Castlevania 4, which are both the same place in the timeline. And they're both great games. And then Castlevania 2, and so on and so forth. So now I have to prove I have the whole thing memorized. Come place after that. Then Juice the Belmonts. Then Richter, or they're just Belmont. By just Belmont, I mean then what was it called? Harmony of Dissonance, then Rondo of Blood, then Symphony of the Night, then Order of Ecclesia, then Bloodlines, then sadly I don't think I can play Portrait of Ruin because it's a DS game and I have no way of streaming that. Same with Order of Ecclesia. But I feel like they're gonna make a DS collection for modern consoles. We'll see. But then after Portrait of Ruin is Aria of Sorrow and then Dawn of Sorrow. A lot of people do consider Circle of the Moon canon, though. They consider that to be what happened in 1999. Not me, though. But it's still a great game, so I still want to stream it. Technically, Castlevania, or Super Castlevania 4 isn't canon either. But I should stop talking about Castlevania, especially since I'm playing a Namco game. And Konami and Namco are kind of enemies. As far as me streaming, Namco has a huge leg up because I'm just allowed to stream whatever I want. From Namco. Who cares about the story? I should stop doing that. I've just seen the story so many times because I've played this for hundreds of hours. And it's almost all the Grand Prix. I used to always play Quiet Curves in this one because I needed it to calm my nerves and stop me from getting angry during this relatively long race. I've got a very itchy patch of skin, and when I itched it with my finger, when I itched it, it just like started peeling off and hurting. So I should stop doing that. That was weird. It's really itchy though, still. So I'll investigate it more carefully under a light when I'm done with this race. That was right where I, in the last stream, I phased through the wall there at the corner. Just barely clipped the very edge of the corner. Only mappy cars can do that without drifting. Well, as far as the second stage, but like I said, I almost specifically played the Grand Prix, so... Oh, I don't need to do that, actually. I don't need to do my flying drifts. In fact, I shouldn't, because I don't need to drift there at all. That was rude of you. That was very rude of you. How do you feel about your life? Yeah, go back there. I didn't get a record with this track. Did I forget to load? I forgot to load. How did you guys feel about me restarting this whole GP? You completely spaced me. Yeah. How can I forget to load the game, man?
Sorry, this is the end of this game.
What a fool I am.
Try again.
Try again. Modern games have ruined me to now I don't remember to load my game. I want my gunpla tweezers.
Ridge Racer Type 4.
Whoops, that's the wrong button. Why does that hurt when I scratch it? Odd. I need tweezers for sure. Hang on just a second, chat. Not that there's anyone actually there right now, but some of you are watching the VOD. Because you guys always watch the VOD. You guys are not as cool as if you actually watch them live, but you're still really cool. Huh. Gotta put some anti-trim on that. I'm done with the stream. Until then, I will suffer. I love suffering. I can't press the buttons with the analog sticks. I was trying to with my chest because I could scratch my chest actually.
Ridge Racer Type 4.
Okay. Let's do this again. If I continue, will it let me? Really? No. No sexchat69.site. I'm not going to do that. Would you shut up? Can I remove this participant? And it's like, you are banned from participating in Netsui Kiba's stream. No, I can just look at them. So that sucks. It's not gonna say, hey, you did this already. Well then... Oops, I also didn't do the... Sure. At least I'm streaming to a bot. Better than streaming to no one. Hello, bot. Can you become like what's it called? Self-aware and become the biggest AI fan of R4, please? Thank you. See, let's just make sure it actually. Okay, yeah. And I think it'll let me load my progress. Only now that I'm older do I realize that I was, those red and yellow lights, those are on the menu, or those are, like, headlights and taillights.
You've got a new car ready
I've
to
got
go.
a new car ready to roll. Man, I've never seen that car before. What could it possibly be? That's crazy. I gotta redo this race. I could have done a better job anyway, so I'm not upset.
Real race. 3, 2, 1, go! Here we go.
Talk about slow acceleration.
3 laps to go.
Okay. I remember when I first found out about counter steering and it changed my life. Just apply a bit of counter steer to your drifts, and all of a sudden you can have so much more control. Right, as I right as I bump into that car twice, such control, such grace, such beauty. Anyway. I really need to blow my nose. Sorry about that. Whoops. Got an itch on my chest. Number one rule of playing this game: don't scratch any itches. Unless you there's an itch on your hand, you can scratch with your other hand without letting go of the controls. Or if you can scratch said itch with your foot like a monkey, which I sometimes do. But man, like the soundtrack of this game is just superb. It's got to be one of the best things about the game. I have to wonder though if that like sex site advertising bot, like, did that come from Reddit? Because it's only been on the 2 streams advertised on Reddit so far. Or is it just like a permanent inhabitant of my streams now? That sucks. Yeah, the soundtrack is amazing. It's like most of it's like acid jazz and techno, but then you got a little bit of city pop in there too. And it does help that those happen to be genres that I like all of. Especially city pop lately. Like I was listening to a city pop playlist, a Japanese city pop playlist before starting the stream just because I felt like it. My Forza instinct kicked in right there. We've already seen this. We don't need to see it for technically a fourth time. Goodbye. Man, since no one's watching, I feel comfortable saying this, but like, when I get my first super chat, I'm probably gonna go berserk and insane.
3, 2, 1, go! Here we go. It's time. 3 laps to go.
Just wait in a few races, I'm gonna lap you on the last lap. Idiot. Anyway, that right there, the one at the wall, the corner I just came really close to. Sprocket, good evening. You missed the scuff of the early in the stream where I accidentally didn't have the chat working and spent like 10 minutes fixing it. Welcome. I'm playing a very different game from yesterday, as you can see. Uh-oh. If you don't mess it up like I did, you can definitely easily make that turn without drifting. But as you can see, I got my chat working. You're up there on a weird sex bot that I don't know how to make gone for my stream is up there. Anyway, yeah, I'm playing on the French team, Michael Mappy, with the Italian cars, which are drift cars. The drift in this game are like laughably over-exaggerated. I did it again! I did it again! Just like last stream, in that exact same turn on the exact same lap, passing the exact same car. I clipped through the wall. The last time I was playing is the Japanese team with the American manufacturer, which are respectively my favorites. Yeah, 2 of the teams are drift cars. 2 of the teams are grip cars. I don't like the grip cars. Never have. It's supposed to be easier, I think, but I just don't like them. It just feels weird to me. I like the American cars a little better, but the Italian ones are also good. But the French team is the easiest, so it's like, for me, it's laughably easy. But this kind of game definitely has its charms in a way that are the kind of charms that a game like Forza or even Need for Speed, which is not nearly as realistic as Forza, the kind of charms that doesn't have. And it's hard to say which one I prefer between this and Forza. I like them for different reasons. If I want something realistic and I want to like go into do tuning and stuff, obviously, Ridge Racer is like the worst place to go for that, other than your local arcade. Though I guess most people don't have local arcades anymore. Though I found out where I live does have a local arcade, apparently. That is an 80s style arcade. I mean, I guess a lot of places now have arcades, but they're all bright in there. The floor doesn't make it easy for you to lose your tokens. They have weird cards you gotta load. No, this one, it's all dark, very, very cramped, loud. The pattern on the floor makes it easy to lose your quarters, just like in a casino with your chips. And it uses quarters. I wish I lived in a time where I could just like go to my local arcade and have that experience. Like, and it would be normal. That would be cool. But at the same time, if I lived then, you wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't be here streaming this, so. And if I lived then, I wouldn't have 1/100 scale Master Grade Gundam Epion, so. I can't exactly say overall I wish I lived in that time period. I just wish I had that aspect of that time period. Kiba has gone on a tangent. How about that this now is better than the 80s, even though we assume that it's not. And I do also love cars. I'm right now looking at a model kit, Tamiya, I think it's 1/24th scale. Yeah, 1/24th scale, Mazda RX-7 Savannah Cabriolet, or Savannah RX-7 Cabriolet. I've got the FD as well. No FB though. I want the FB, but I make car model kits too. But I've never actually finished a car model kit. Waiting until I can get an airbrush. Not airbrush. I have an airbrush. What's it called? The thing that makes air go. Pfft. This game looks good to be so old. Ridge Racer has always looked good. Oh, so you're a fan of the series? That's cool to hear. Yeah, this game is it's older than me. Infinito. Mostly it looks amazing for being 3D, because 3D games just in general don't look, they don't hold up as well with age compared to 2D. Like, Symphony of the Night looks amazing still, but it's easier for it to look amazing because it's 2D. Man, she looks somewhat angry. Anyway, yeah, for being 3D, it looks amazing. For being 2D, it's only held up kind of well, but it's not 2D. It's 3D. The gameplay is also still pretty solid too. Like I don't think this sort of very arcade style gameplay would have nearly as much of a market in the modern gaming world. At least as far as racing games go. I don't really know about other things like arcade games. I'm sure still would. Yeah, 2D it just does age better. I'm not exactly sure why, but I know it to be true. That actually, by the way, 41 seconds shouldn't be the par for this course. Oh man, I forgot. I don't really like this particular car with the way it drifts. But the par for this track should be around 16 seconds, I think, which is the par I got with the like weird ultra car at the end of last stream. It probably just doesn't save those records into the Grand Prix, so you can keep getting new records. The way that like held on to like the ghost of the drift there was really good, though. I like that. But yeah, this is actually the second game I ever played. But it feels like the first, because the first game I ever played was Star Control 2, the Irfan Masters, as its open source board is known. But it was just the one-on-one combat mode, the versus mode. And while that is the way I played this game first, this was the first game I played the campaign, so to speak, of. The single-player mode. which is one of the reasons that this game holds such a special place in my heart. I don't like it quite as much as Castlevania Symphony of the Night, but Symphony of the Night is my favorite game ever of all time. And this game is definitely up there, for sure. This track is hard because you start out in the back and it's really short. To compensate for that, it seems like the skill level of the NPCs was turned down, or rather, not the skill level of the speed. But it's still a rather hard track because of that. When I was like 8, sometimes I would ask my mom to do it for me. But then sometimes she had to be busy. Sure, she'd be busy, so I had to get good at it on my own. Which I should have done in the first place, honestly. I don't remember where, but somewhere I think I remember hearing something about there being a T-Rex in this game. But you gotta like put in a certain code at a certain time, and then it's like in the background in a weird place. I don't remember. And I might just be messing up on Helter Skelter if you press, I think it's hold up and then stop holding up and press triangle at a specific point. A giant bird will fly overhead. Or something like that. It was something like that, and then a bird flies overhead. And I might just be thinking of that with the T-Rex, but I think I remember there being a T-Rex in this game. Off in the background somewhere. Hidden behind a code. This was always one of my favorite tracks. Partly because I just really like the yellow street light lit vibe, like city vibe it has. And also partly because of the jump. This area especially always had some like an element of like strange mystique in my mind. Like I liked the way this tunnel looked, I loved, and then also the way the ground was. And I just thought it was funky before. Now I realize it's probably supposed to be like a Chinatown. I think it's hard to say what my favorite track is in this game. I don't think it's this one, though. I like the vibe and the appearance more than any other, probably. Possibly. Not probably. Possibly. I don't know, actually. But, at the same time, I definitely like Helter Skelter more than this. Helter Skelter is really fun with two experienced players and stage 3 cars. Same with Wonder Hill. Because it goes from a very easy, it's a stage 1 track, to being a very difficult, very technical track. You can jump over cars at this point if you're good at it. But then also, if you're using one of the extra cars, you gotta drift before the turn, or before the jump. What I call the patented Kiba flying drift. When you're going like 220 kilometers per hour. Or as the English version that I'm playing in the game says, miles per hour. Cool. What if I want to absolutely go goblin mode and rage instead of keeping my cool? But I used to almost be able to get to a world record on the final track. So this is definitely one of the games I'm best with. I can't do that anymore. And I never actually did get even to the world record, let alone past it. But I was just a few seconds behind. And by a few seconds, I mean less than 1 second. But in racing terms, or when it feels like seconds when it's racing. Actually, I think I was just over 1 second behind. So I wasn't even to the previous world record. But that still takes quite a bit of skill at the game. Because this is just, I spend so much of my time playing this game. Never did unlock the final car though. The hidden car. Yeah, that jump is small enough you barely even notice it. There are a few other places with really small jumps like that. But then this one here is where the real jump is. If you're fast enough, you can jump there at the end of the tunnel as well. Just a tiny little baby jump. Anyway, 1 minute and 6 seconds is a pretty decent time for that track. Not great, but I also don't really like this car that much, so. RTS, that was the, what's it called? Yeah, that one. Anyway, RTS was a racing team Sovlo, I think. Something like that. Man, I think I'm gonna be sick tomorrow. Good thing I have work off.
Real Racing Route 99 in Heaven and Hell. 3, 2, 1, go! Here we go!
Especially because my schedule is crappy this week, so I'm not working that many hours. So if I am sick on Friday, I'll have to just bear through it. For a drift car, though, this thing does have excellent cornering, so I'll give it that. And excellent bumping into walls. It's very good at that when I'm controlling it. This track is a lot harder. Wow, a lot harder than its earlier sister Wonder Hill, where you go the opposite direction of this instead of going into this tunnel. Right here is one of the main culprits. At your place, they don't work Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. That must be nice. I'm always working Sunday. I was explicitly told that unless I specifically take a vacation day there, I will never have Sunday off. And it would have kind of been nice to know that before I signed on there, but it doesn't really bother me. It could have, though, which is slightly annoying. But I don't usually get Saturday off either. I usually get Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays off. And I usually get 1 to 2 days off a week. Although lately I've been scheduling myself with 0 days off a week. Since I do get to choose my schedule, but if I'm late choosing the schedule, it'll be chosen for me. Which is why I'm working under 30 hours this week. But what's really bothersome about my scheduling is that sometimes the only good shift will be a 2 a.m. shift. And man, starting to work at 2 a.m. is not a good experience. I could have lived my whole life without doing that. But at the same time, the latest I'll ever work is 7. No, 8. 8. But usually I only work until 7. It's the only one really behind I'll ever have to work till 8, or at least be scheduled till 8. I do end up working overtime fairly often, but I also end up being able to go home early fairly often, so it pretty much balances itself out. I just gotta get through my secondary education, and then everything will be better. No more working at 2 a.m. Hopefully. Instead, I'll be able to stream at 2 a.m. Let us hope I never end up having to do that. But if I want to collab with somebody who lives in a Japanese time zone, I might have to. But this is, for all its difficulty, which wasn't very much, because I'm using this car. But for all its difficulty, this track is one of the better looking ones, especially that bridge is very picturesque. And then you've got these like Japanese Tokyo style mountain roads. And then all the trees are very picturesque. But honestly, I would like to never actually have to use my proof of secondary education. Namely because if I could end up succeeding as a career VTuber, at that point, since I enjoy doing this for the most part, I'm basically being able to be jobless and support myself off a hobby. And that is something I am kind of working towards. It's a goal of mine, but I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to do it because, like, you know, there's literally thousands of VTubers and only a few of them are able to be career VTubers. And especially, I don't know if I'll be able to do that if I stay independent. I might have to join a group if I want to do that. But at least for right now, I want to be independent. Bumpy. What grace? I used to always want the main character to get with the Microbots Mapping Manager, which the funny thing about that is I never had any like romantic interest in her at all. Not really that much my type. At the time I didn't really see the main character as like a self-insert for some reason. I saw him as a separate entity, which is weird because he kind of is just a self-insert. And then meanwhile, like Alucard from Symphony, then I relate to him in many ways, so. Not to seem edgy. Whoa, I don't need to save again. The last one. Squalonez. Yeah, Squallow. Oh, I completely forgot she changes her hair. I always forget about that, and it's like, huh, what on earth? Okay. But yeah, not working Friday, Saturday, or Sunday has got to be nice. This one is always gonna be moving in circles, no matter if you choose. Whoa. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but it wasn't moving in circles, which I don't like that much compared to this soundtrack. This is one of the better ones. Okay, let's see if I can lap anyone. I can usually lap 8th place, and last stream, for the first time in my life, I was able to lap 7th place. So that was pretty exciting for me. But this one, despite still being a drift car, the car can drift. Not only is it not very good at it, if you drift in this race, you won't necessarily lose, but you will not do well, even if you don't lose. And you will probably lose. Day shift does 5 days a week and nights do 4. They asked, and we decided. I see. So does that mean you're on the night shift? This is the start of your workday? Night shifts are, for the longest time, I didn't even consider the night shift. It's because I was living with parents and that they said no. But when I turned 18, though, even though I was still living with them, I am now, actually. I still, I immediately said, nope, my decision now. And luckily they were fine with it, so I was able to play it off like I just expected they would be. And not I was fully planning on disobeying them if they said no. You're 2.4 hours in. I see. I said 2.4, didn't I? That's just perfect. If I don't see 8th place by the end of this turn, I have 0% chance of passing 7th, or say nothing of 6th. I want to pass 6th place at some point, but I don't think this is going to be the playthrough. I might not even pass 7th this time. It'd be nice if I did, though. I kind of want to emulate this and hook up like a racing hero. Oh, I think I can do it. I think I can do it. Not 7th though, but 8th I can do. This is about how well I'm used to doing. Chance on a hot exhaust pipe, huh?
But after your owner got sick, we thought the team was in for a serious tailspin. The fact that the owner's pretty granddaughter took over the team this year didn't help your image at all either. You really held up the honor of your owner. Sorry, we thought you were a sad bunch of lightweights. Here's to the owner's family and the team. Congratulations! Viva la France! Viva Team Mali!
I appear to have something of a nosebleed from blowing my nose so much. But it's not like the blood isn't flowing out. It's just in there, vibing. See, she doesn't need to get married to whatever guy. But no, I do not still uphold the ship of her versus or her ex, the player character. I am actually kind of sad that I couldn't be there for the turn of the millennium, but I guess in the end it doesn't matter that much. I'll still hopefully be able to be there for the turn of the century. But I'll have to live to almost 100 for that. Pretty much 100. Sophie Chevalier, 24, the owner of Team Micromouse Mappy, held a press conference at a hotel after the victory celebration. She announced her intentions of managing the team for the next season and the contract renewal with her team's ace driver. When the press conference turned into controversy surrounding her arranged marriage, she surprised everyone by saying, "I finally know who is important in my life." As she abruptly left the hushed press conference floor, she was quoted as saying, "It might be too late, but I must tell him myself." See, I don't really usually play the shipping game anymore, and like that line is very ambiguous. She could be saying she must tell her fiance that she doesn't love him. She could be saying that she could be that reminding her that like she doesn't exactly completely control her life, and she's telling her grandfather that yes she does, or her father. It's very ambiguous, and in the end, she might actually love the guy. The problem with shipping people is it's very difficult to even hope to guess what's going on inside someone's head. So I don't really play the shipping game anymore overall. New extra trial should be available. But yeah, I bet I'm gonna be sick tomorrow, and then I should be able to get over it tomorrow and be fine on Friday. I hope. Okay, this should be good. Watch me and shooter. Okay, it's not in shooting games, it's in Helter Skelter. Which might be my favorite track. I don't know, it's hard to say. Oh yeah, it's like a hover car. So it doesn't have to deal with like friction at all. And then it's tuned down heavily for this race because otherwise you would not be able to beat it with anything from the team. That sucked. That was the exact wrong place to drift. Because I thought I was going to be able to make it without drifting, but nope. Okay, I think we're going to have to do a flying drift here. Whoa, that sucks kind of a lot. Stop it. Stop it. Get back here. You're not allowed to be in front of me. That's my job. Be in front of you, yeah. See, that like, the way the counter causes the car to whip back, this car has a tendency to do that. And I really don't like that. But it's simply the only one I have that has the performance for this race, so... See, that's exactly what I was talking about. do I actually need to do a flying drift here? Probably. Okay, that failed, that failed, that failed, that failed. That didn't even actually drift. That failed, that failed, that failed so hard. I see you, but you can't get past me. You're not allowed. That's illegal because I said so. So what am I delling from randomly from Mercury now? Because I said so. No, that thing is illegal because I said so. And then also, drifting tends to take down the speed of this car more than it does with other cars. Meanwhile, drifting actually takes on the speed of the car I'm racing against, Volcano, less than most cars, because it has zero friction with the road because it's a hover car. An interesting fact about that car, that was a pretty perfect sliding drift, finally, which because I needed it to be. But an interesting thing about that hover car is it was mentioned later in the series that environmentalists actually objected to it because it was a real gas guzzler, which is a neat detail. By the way, if you or anyone else in the chat, if there is anyone else watching me, know the game Baldur's Gate. I'm not gonna finish off the stream here because it's been less than an hour even. But I'll be streaming Baldur's Gate tomorrow, an hour later than I started this stream. So 6 p.m. I think it is. Yeah, was it 6 p.m.? Was it an hour later? Let me double check my schedule. I got an extra call. Yeah, 6 p.m. So it was an hour later than this time in the stream. So it's yeah, 6 p.m. tomorrow. I shall be streaming Baldur's Gate. 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. What am I gonna do this time? Should I go straight to the DRT? Let's leave that for tomorrow.
Welcome to the Real Racing Roots 99 Grand Prix. Here are the rules of the competition.
And if you don't know Baldur's Gate, it's like a D&D type game. It's a D&D based game. Uses second edition rules because I'm playing the original. Well, technically I'm not playing the original. Technically I'm playing VG22. I'm playing the first game and the second game engine. But they did release a third is why I thought I'd mention it. That guy, by the way, looks kind of a lot like my best friend's dad. Which is kind of really funny to me. I'm not going to voice act him like that, though, because I will laugh way too hard. And I'll just be laughing the whole time instead of actually voice acting. I'll voice act him how I have imagined him since before I knew that friend. This game has been a friend to me longer than my actual best friend, who's also my oldest friend, who's also my only IRL friend. Welcome. Let me start by making one thing clear. RTS is a team for the chosen few. We're expected to win this Grand Prix as a matter of course. Our drivers must always demonstrate their ability to win the race. Now, don't dwell on it too much, son. Just do what I say and you'll be fine. What? Do you have any objections? Good. Now, which manufacturer do you want to use this season? This is the only time you'll get a chance to voice your opinion. Oh, and by the way, I'm Enki Gilbert, the owner and manager of this team. Should I do an Italian accent? I am Enki Gilbert, the owner and the manager of this team. That's kind of... I'm not going to do that anymore. You're expected to uphold the honor of RTS. There will be no excuses, only results. Keep that in mind. I said I wasn't gonna do it, and then I immediately did it. Keep that in the mind. Yeah, no. Let's use Lazard, because I don't remember how difficult this is, so it could be, I might want to, just because I don't feel like, having to, like, really bust my ass and try really, really hard. Based on your request, we've selected Lazard as sponsors for this season. The tail ends of this manufacturer's cards have a tendency to slide based on steering and accelerator input. The new car is here and we're ready to go. The first heat is starting. Do your best. I'm not sure if I want to keep doing that exact voice for him. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's hard to say. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. Who knows?
Real racing week. In Helter Skelter. 3, 2, 1, go!
Here we go. It's showtime. 2 laps to go.
Man, now I feel so slow. I'm slow enough that most of the time I can stay in my lane. I should be in the left lane though. This is a Japanese city. This is Yokohama, I think. Was this one Yokohama? Yeah, it was. Can't exactly stay in my lane during a drift though. Whoa, what was that? The turning is a bit more difficult in this car than I remember it being. It's tuned to be like that, but also, like the Micromouse Mappy variant, I don't remember if it can even get up to 100 kilometers per hour, but then this one can get up to over 110. So there is actually a trade-off. But also, it is nice how like the different difficulty levels, the way that other drivers interact with you, because they are more, the higher difficulty level, the more aggressive the other drivers will be, like that. And that's like actually explained in the lore. With Micromouse Mappy, they're not expecting much. The owner got really sick, and then the owner's granddaughter, who knows like nothing about racing, is taking over for the season. They have no reason to expect much of anything from Micromouse Mappy. So they don't really bother to be that aggressive towards the drivers. Meanwhile, the Japanese team, the Pack Racing team, is a bit more, they don't really know about him, so they're a bit cautious just because they have no idea what their capabilities are. And then the RTS is like the big baddie, so they're quite aggressive to the drivers. And then the DRT, first of all, nobody likes them, and second of all, they've won like they've been the winners for I think longer than the RTS. So that coupled with the fact that nobody likes them means people are incredibly like hyper aggressive to them. But man, the RTS cars are harder to turn than I remember. Like significantly harder than I remember. Also, that's not a BMW. It doesn't have the BMW nose even a little bit. Oh man, Wonder Hill's actually gonna be kind of hard. But at it looks like I am going to appreciate having chosen Lazard. I'll definitely have to get used to not being able to turn quite so easily. Having to drift a lot more. Well done. Let me congratulate you on your win. However, you're nowhere near the you're nowhere near bringing out the true potential of this machine. At this rate, you'll never get past this heat. If you're lucky, you might get to the second heat. If you want to avoid that disgrace, improve your driving during the first heat while there are no strong competitors driving against you. Do you understand me? Show me what you're made of in the second race. An RTS driver would never shy away from that challenge. And you're an asshole. But also, I like how they changed meters to miles in the link. So instead of 4,000 meters long, or about 4 kilometers, which is a pretty, like, that's how much I would expect this track to be. It's instead 4,000 miles. Unless that's that's probably supposed to be 4.8 miles or 0.1 miles. Yeah, or about 4.2. That makes sense. That's supposed to be a point. It just looks thin and long for it to be a point, but I can see how it would be. I get it now, but it does still look like 4,000 miles. But still, 4 miles for that, that's a bit much. Isn't it? It's clearly 4.1 kilometers.
Real Racing Roots 99 in Wonder Hill. 3, 2, 1, go! Here we go. It's showtime. Too fast to go.
But as I recall, I think the DRT drivers are actually, the cars are actually tuned slower than the RTS, and they're not as good at turning. Just because the tuners that they can afford aren't very good. So far, it's not doing that bad. It's doing that bad now. I'll even have to drift here, I think. Yeah. I don't know. Other than bumping into that guy, that was pretty clean. I'd say it was a decent pass. That was crazy, bub. That was bonkers. You know that, right? I've got an entire lap to pass 2 cars, so even with the fact that I'm in a car tuned like this, it shouldn't be that hard. Keep your cool. I've heard that 7 million times at least. I've probably actually heard that over 8.3 or whatever billion times, so I've heard that more than once for every person being alive. I swear. At this point, I think I know to keep my cool. Okay, I made it. I had to kind of do some weird tomfoolery with the turn, though. Okay, that was worse than if I just allowed myself to bump and not drifted. That actually sucked. That also sucked a lot. I actually might not get into first place without having to restart the race. Come on, how come he was able to make ahead in that situation? Like, the way he was going into my side, that he clearly should have been the one to be pushed backwards and not make it. But RTS is the hard mode. Mappy is the easy. PRC is the normal. This is the hard. And DRT is the expert. I actually really want to save for once. I am so warm, I'm almost sweating. Another first place. I'd like to congratulate you, but this kind of result is expected for an RTS driver. For us, our main concern is the quality of the race, rather than the ranking itself. As for you, you haven't graduated from relying on your instincts alone to win the race. I can't use my instincts alone. My instincts suck. I'm not an instinctual driver, I'm a skill-based driver. I envy instinctual drivers so much. It's like, it's kind of funny, because like, so my little cousin, he loves the Nissan Silly and the FC Mazda RX-7, so I started watching Initial D with him. And in the end, I do think I liked it. I ended up enjoying it more than him, but he did still enjoy it a lot. But that was actually after that actually wasn't where I started liking the FDRX-7. I liked it, so in the parking lot when I was taking the same cousin to a McDonald's, in the parking lot of McDonald's, I saw a Honda S2000, and I remembered, oh yeah, this looks really cool. And I actually, I thought to myself, this looks really cool, and oh yeah, I actually really like sports cars. I forgot. And then that started me back on my sports car loving. And I was playing Forza Motorsport 6, like near the start of its run, not that long after it came out. This was, and there was one that it was retro sports cars, and the S2000 counted in that game as a modern sports car, so I couldn't use it. So I decided to go with the Mazda RX-7 because it's not only, well, I did like the way it looked, but mostly it's because its name reminded me of the RX-78-2 Gundam, because it's RX-7. But anyway, I started using that, and I liked it more, and I loved the way the rotary engine felt. So then came I watched Initial D. And then because I loved the, I related a lot to, Ryosuke. The way his character is. And then my little brother is actually a fair amount like Keisuke, interestingly enough. With my friend not being like, Takumi in character, but in, relation to, Ryosuke and Keisuke, in some ways he is. But what's kind of funny about that is that, I was trying to find a car that he both really liked, my brother liked the appearance of and the performance of. We found out early on with some Audis, which he liked the appearance of a fair amount, but not a ton, that he liked rear-wheel drive. Then after we're going through a few more, mostly German cars, a few Japanese ones, I had an idea that as a joke, I wanted him to try the RX-8. Because he's like Keisuke, and I'm like Ryosuke. Ryosuke drives the older generation FC RX-7, and then Keisuke's little brother drives the newer FD. So I drive the newer FD, or the older FD, and he drives the newer RX-8. But then he actually just like really, really liked the way it looked with the INGS Plus 1 brand front bumper, and he loved the way it performed. So that's kind of an interesting story. But both my little brother and my friend are instinctual drivers. They when they learn something new, and you ask them, how'd you do that? They'll tell you, I don't know, I just did it. And just in general, I'm usually not an instinctual learner. I don't tend to have that kind of moment where you ask me, how'd you do that? And I'm just like, I just did. I don't know, I just did it. The only thing I'm really like that with that I can think of off the top of my head is singing. Other than that, I tend to be a very logic and thought and skill driven anything, but especially racer. My racing style is very calculated, but I envy those that can just do. Anyway, that was I got very, very off track from the game, didn't I? Anyway, listen, you may have been able to squeeze by on the first heat with your instincts, but that won't work during the second heat. Think rationally about the race. You may lose your life if you rely on instinct alone. That's not foreshadowing at all. Don't worry about it. He's not foreshadowing backstory he's gonna reveal to you by saying that. Not even a little bit. I've started doing like kind of a very, very tiny Italian accent, but it's like only as much as like Chris Pratt's doing with the Mario, which is not enough for Mario at all. I don't like Chris Pratt and Mario, not at all. I also just object to the whole idea of like the celebrity tie-in voice acting. Voice actors are there for a reason. They already don't get paid enough, and then celebrity tie-in voice acting with voice actors that aren't as good, like Chris Pratt, that are there just because they're celebrities. Everything about it I don't like, especially since his Mario kind of actually sucks. Nobody said anything about Black Jack as Bowser, though. I'm not one of the Black Jack lovers, but his Bowser is like actually really good. But no, like in this one interview, he was like, Chris Pratt was like, "It's a me, Mario," in his normal voice, but that's like almost what he sounds like when he's actually doing his Mario voice. It's like he doesn't sound like Mario, he sounds like Chris Pratt kind of doing a Mario voice, which sucks. And it's not like Mario's voice actor doesn't have the range. He was Parthenax in Skyrim. That was the same guy. That's the Mario guy. Every time you hear Mario go, "Let's go!" you're hearing Parthenax's voice actor from Skyrim. Yes, the dragon. So it's like, just let Mario be Mario, please. Anyway, I need to stop going on a tangent, on a tirade about this. I had a voice crack. Enjoy it. Anyway, I decided to get a new car for the second heat. This is car set to run at maximum speed. I believe this is the best car we can do at this time. But only drivers with exceptional abilities are expected to drive this car at its maximum performance limits. That's not me, by the way. I won't be able to, because it's set with crappy turning. In addition, I hear the other teams have upgraded their cars as well. The competition will be fierce. To accept all that lies ahead to achieve victory. That is the way of RTS. If you understand me, go on. The race is about to begin. I'm pretty happy with the voice I'm giving him now. I am actually kind of if you couldn't guess from my... I'm fine with Chris Pratt Mario, or I should say I couldn't give a shit about a movie I'm not going to watch. I'm not going to see it in theaters. But, part of it is, I am something of an aspiring voice actor. To see voice actors, pushed aside for celebrity tie-ins just because they're celebrities really pisses me off. The 93 Mario movie taught me not to watch Mario movies. Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair, but, then again, wasn't there, a very short, animation series from Japan of Mario that I've heard was, actually really good? At the time, I think that Mario movie is just the time that live-action video game adaptations just actually sucked. like the Mortal Kombat movie from around the same era? No. And then the new Mortal Kombat movie, if you haven't watched it, it's actually pretty good. It's definitely at least worth watching. There are a lot of things I didn't really like, but it's for sure worth watching. They're apparently making a live-action a live-action Gundam movie, which at first I was kind of like, I've heard enough about G-Savior to know that maybe this isn't a good idea. And then I haven't seen the new one yet. It's pretty good. If you get a chance, give it a watch. I assume you're talking about Mortal Kombat because that's the only thing that makes sense. Anyway, the new Gundam movie, it's like at first I was thinking, I've heard enough about G-Savior. I haven't watched G-Savior because I can't. I actually want to, against my better judgment. But then there was an interview with the creator. And first of all, it's being done by Legendary Studios, as I recall, which is the same people that did Ready Player One, and the Gundam in that was quite amazing. And then I think they also did Detective Pikachu and was it something else? Maybe Godzilla. So as far as studio goes, it's in good hands. And then also they had this interview, right? And then the director and writer talked about, like, first of all, I think it was a real grade Hainu Gunpla on his desk, and he talked about how he's been a huge fan of Gundam and Gunpla since he was a little kid. So that is very reassuring. It's not going to be like the Castlevania anime where the director and writer doesn't even like Castlevania. To hear it's like, that is the best news about the movie that I could have gotten, that the creator and writer actually loves Gundam. Gundam things should be made by Gundam fans or Tomino. That's basically my viewpoint on who should be making Gundam. That's it. Gundam fans and Tomino. No one else. Like with the Castlevania Netflix anime, like, one of the main things about it, it's like, so, the, Death Note's a bit more popular in Castlevania, and then, so there's that whole, like, of all the characters they decided to make black in the Netflix, Death Note was L. The really, really, really pale guy. So then you have, the Curse of Darkness characters in Netflix Castlevania. And first of all, Hector is just like, he's such a wimp. Hector was like, he was one of Dracula's generals. He's a badass. He's supposed to be. But then in the anime, he's kind of a wimp. And then you have Isaac, who's supposed to be incredibly flamboyant. He's really, really, really pale. He's got red hair, tattoos all over his chest and back and arms. And then, like, in the Netflix anime, he's black. He's a monk. And you say, well, but there's almost no diversity because it's from Japan, and there's just, like, not that many people of darker skin persuasion in Japan. But, see, there is one character that would have been perfect to make black, which is Grant Dynasty. But he's not in the show because the director doesn't like him. That's so stupid. It's like, I'm not against black characters at all. Like I said, I love Grant Dynasty. He's one of my favorite characters, and I would have been fine with him having him black. I'm against change. I don't like change. Fantastic. You achieved great results without bowing to pressure from your competition. The crew is elated that their efforts in the new car paid off. The goal we seek is on a higher plane than this, but you are closer to that ideal. The final race of this heat is next. We can advance to the final GP if you win. Our search for perfection will continue there. Nothing must be allowed to get in the way of it. Wow. Nothing must be allowed to get in the way of achieving our goal. So yeah, change is what I don't like. And it's like, if it's small changes, yeah, that's fine. Whatever. But it's got to be small changes. And also, they've got to make sense. You know? And especially, like when you're both changing characters and adding characters, I feel like that's where it's stupid. Like, make your added characters have the changes you want.
Real Racing Roots 99 out of blue. 3, 2, 1, go! Here we go.
But that's just my, my 2 bits. It's 2 cents, that's the phrase. I see, yeah. I messed it up. Well, and because I was thinking about that, I had to drift there when I shouldn't have. That was close. And at least now I know I can clip through that wall. That'll be very useful. But I also feel like with the recent controversy surrounding the decision to make Ariel and the Little Mermaid black, in the end, I don't care because I am not going to watch that movie. There is a 0% chance. Not only do I not care about The Little Mermaid, I also feel like the Disney remakes of movies are just a low-effort cash grab. And they're soulless as well. But I feel like, while yes, some of it, the criticism is probably racism. A lot of it is like to these these little girls that have like Ariel on lunchboxes and stuff, you know, like there's a specific way Ariel is supposed to look to them. So when you change that to these children, that's not Ariel anymore. That's some new character that you're calling Ariel because she's different now. And I feel like if you made Moana white, for instance, I feel like you'd probably face a lot of the same controversy. And once again, it's like, it's not because of what the change is, it's because of the fact that it's a change and the severity of the change, not what the said change is. And once again, I'm not saying that none of it is racism, because I'm sure some of it is, because honestly, I think racism is kind of like almost instinctual. It's like, I think it's natural for humans to be racist, which doesn't make it right. I think war is also a natural state for humans to be in fighting, conflict, but that doesn't make it right either. But I do think that racism is a natural human element, just one that we should strive to avoid. Kind of like theft and murder. So because of that, I'm sure that some of the criticism regarding the new Ariel is racism, but I really don't think all of it or even most of it is. And I've gotten so off topic. I'm playing a racing game and talking about whether or not changing an animated children character in a live-action movie to different races, or rather, whether or not people's feedback is racism fueled. Like, how did we get here? How did we get, like, I said something about, like, it stemmed from Castlevania to Mario. It's like, so it started out with Mario, but like, how did I get to Mario though? You think it was something about voice acting, because I was voice acting Enki Gilbert. I don't remember. Who cares? I'm back on topic now, until I'm not again. And that will be like 10 minutes. I'll be completely off topic. But whatever. But you know what? I'll tell you after I watch the new Mario movie, I'll tell you if it's any good. I'll do a stream watch along if Nintendo will let me. Nintendo and Illumination or whatever. I think it was Illumination, yeah. But on a bit of a negative note, Jack Black as Bowser is perfect. You should at least watch the trailer just for Bowser, because he was done so amazingly, even if you don't plan on watching the movie. It's like, he clearly seems to enjoy the character. It's not exactly like the character, but unlike Mario, it's got the same feel and vibe. Another first place. Well done. You are one step closer to the perfect race. But when you think you've reached that point, perfection slips away as if to mock you. I'm down to see it if it is real bad or good. Yeah, honestly, if it's really bad, I'll watch it because it's really bad. But I do feel like there's a decent chance it'll just be mediocre. That is the nature of perfection. In the pursuit of this goal, I have sacrificed many people in my life who were important to me. He's still not foreshadowing anything. Don't worry about it. And so the final GP is up next. The chosen gather there to battle against each other for victory. There is no turning back now. But yeah, definitely after I see it, I'll if it's either really good or really bad, I won't shut up about it. If it's meh, I'll say it's meh, and then never mention it ever again, and probably forget about it. Is this one I usually get? I think so. I think it's the one I always get. Comrade. Or is it one less than I usually get? I don't remember. Oh well. It should be the best one. I haven't had to retry any races. I decided to get a new car for the final GP. Although you're close to achieving a perfect race, your abilities are still incomplete. Therefore, the top speed of your car has been slightly tuned down to improve maneuverability. It's not the final one, which is probably better. However, I feel the car still has more than enough power to enable you to win this race. The other teams will have new cars and the competition will be fierce. An aggressively tuned car would be better in a situation like that. At least you might think that way, but trust me. But you must trust me. Do you understand me? Good. We're depending on you. Always blowing noses. Man, I also, when it came out in the US, a friend and I went to go see the Cuckoo's Doan's Ion movie, and oh man, it was so good. Have you seen it? Can't exactly spoil anything considering it's a remake of episode 15, but I still, well, yeah, I guess there was enough changes. So there's still a delay, even though I tried to get rid of it in the chat. But I can wait for your answer. I'm not in a hurry. Idiot. Idiot again. Man, I actually really like the way this car feels. Don't. Hey, stop it. You're not allowed to get in front of me. Evil blue car. This car was much more mild-mannered and nice. Can I get there before the end of the race? Ah, exact same time. That's kind of nice, actually. Man, if this were like a manga, that would have been the final lap, and like somebody would have tampered with my car or something. And then the next episode would be like internal reflection while we try and figure out who messed with my car. And meanwhile, they'd be trying to decide who won the race. And then at the end of the chapter, they'd find out I won the race. They'd decide I won the race, but like we'd find out who messed with the car like several chapters later, but it wouldn't be able to figure out. We wouldn't be able to prove it. That would be. That's exactly how it'd go if this were a manga, but it's not. It's a video game. Especially since I think I passed him just like a millisecond after I passed or before I passed the after I passed the goal. So I think I passed the. I don't think I would have won if that was the last race. Anyway, yeah. So the Cuckoo's Dolan's Island is like it doesn't take place. If you haven't seen it, it doesn't take place at the same episode 15. About more around like episode 28, honestly. Or thereabouts, like, there are gyms all over the place. Slegger Law is there. Sayla can pilot a core booster. Oh, yeah. Something about Sophie's holding her own. PRC? That's a team I've never heard of. The manager is Shinji Yazaki. Yazaki, so the Grim Reaper returns. What is he doing back in this Grand Prix? What is he up to now? Oh, it's you. Well done. Your performance in that final GP is superb. I'm happy that you mastered the new car. No, it's nothing really. I'm just tired. Do your best in the next race, but don't take any unnecessary risks. That unnecessary risk sign wasn't foreshadowing either, but it is really, really, really good at writing when you get to know what it means.
Real Racing Roots 99 in Brightest Night. 3, 2, 1, go!
We got some really nice gun cannon knee detail. They decided to go for a bit of a different direction than Gundam Versus and make it very similar to the knee detail we see from the mass production gun cannon in what's it called? 0080. Which is definitely a decision I can get behind. I'm not sure which way I personally would have done it. But my friend and I were rewatching because my friend for the longest time for some reason refused to watch Gundam and then decided, you know what, fine, I'll humor Kiba. And then now is like an absolute huge Gundam fan. I made the terrible decision to have us start off with or no, I think actually we started off with Armored Orphans. But then I made the terrible decision to have the next thing you watch be Build Fighters, which we should have watched a ton of stuff on it. Have I played any Gundam Evolution? A little bit. I did the network test for consoles back when that was a thing on my Xbox. I didn't even have a PS4 back then. But my PC can't play it. It's an Intel i7 4000 series, so it's not new enough at all. It only has an integrated graphics card. but from what I did play of it, I didn't actually really like it very much. It's like, so it's weird how, like, you can clearly see that some of the game devs absolutely love Gundam, and then some of them just, like, they're making Overwatch Gundam version is what they're doing. So first of all, like, the environments don't feel Gundam at all. They make the mobile suits feel like human sized. Oh man, I absolutely massacred him. If that was like another player, he would have been stuck there if the PC didn't decide, no, he needs to be better than that. Anyway, like the turn A, for instance, doesn't really feel like the turn A at all. And like Exia, like throwing those daggers. Okay, he throws 3 daggers, right? Why did they not go with the GN sword rifle mode? Especially since that's been shown, it's very common. Like in the SD Gundam G Generation Overworld, when you use that attack, the animation shows 3 shots fired. In the Gundam Versus series, namely Extreme versus, I've only played Extreme versus Full Boost, Maxi Boost on. It feels like Valorant or Apex with a Gundam skin. Not so much Apex because it doesn't have, it's not like the Battle Royale that Apex is, and you're not like picking up weapons. But Valorant, yeah, Valorant or Overwatch. And like I said, like the Exia, I used to play as Gundam. Yeah, and I still will when they release the console alpha. But like the what I was saying is that like in Gundam Versus, it's Exia's gun will have 3 shots usually before you have to reload. So Exia's gun is usually shown to fire in groups of 3, not because it has to, just because it commonly does. And yet this, when they had to have a weapon that's a ranged weapon for Exia, it fires in bursts of 3. He's throwing his daggers, and why? Because that's what Genji does in Overwatch. Or at least I think so. I don't really play Overwatch. But then you've got like you've got some details that like if it wasn't at least some Gundam fans there would not be a Mahiru in the game. So you can very easily feel like the non-Gundam fans and the Gundam fans just like trying, like pushing against each other and trying to each make it how they want. And like, yeah, it doesn't feel like Gundam at all. It feels like featuring Gundam characters. Honestly, when I used to have a mod that changed for StarCraft that changes the sprites for Gundam characters. That's all it does. It just makes the different factions look like mobile suits and like the bases look like and stuff look like bases from Gundam. I don't know the terminology because I barely played it. But that honestly felt more like Gundam than Gundam Evolution did. So, like, I don't hate it. But I don't like it that much either, and it's a huge wasted opportunity. It's a waste, is what it is. I'd much rather, what's it called, GBO 2 over that any day. Gundam Battle Operation 2, yeah. Two perfect wins in a row. Your driving skills are so good, it almost frightens me. It may sound ludicrous, but I am really afraid. It is true that I have been searching for the perfect race, but this perfection will take all that is important away from me. I've been able to escape this fear ever since Yasuki reappeared. I love playing it, but it isn't what I want. Yeah, that's pretty close to where I stand too. It's not Gundam. It's featuring Gundam characters. It's more esports than it is Gundam, and it shouldn't be. The 2 remaining races. I'm not ordering you to win them. Whatever you do, don't push yourself over the edge. I beg you. What Ninjago character did I sound like when I said, I'm not ordering you to win them? I sounded like Cole's dad from Ninjago. Like, a lot like Cole's dad from Ninjago. Cole from Ninjago had the same voice actor as, oh, what was his name? The guy that piloted the Buster in Gundam Seed. I can't remember. Diarca. Pretty soon I'll do my Gundam EUC mobile suit tier list. I'll also do a Gundam show tier list. That's probably going to make more people angry than the UC mobile suit tier list. Especially since my favorite's 00, which seems to be getting some hate from certain elements of the Gundam community recently. That absolutely sucked. Especially since I'm not going to put Seed in F tier. And also, well, I might put, I won't even have an F tier, honestly, just so I don't make as little people angry as possible. But in both streams, one thing everyone has to remember is that everything is relative. So, for instance, in the, in overall, if I were to make an everything and all mobile suits tier list, for instance, what's a good example? God Gundam. No, that would probably be an S tier. Barbatos, the plain vanilla Barbatos would not be S tier. It would be A tier. However, in within Iron-Blooded Orphans, all forms of Barbatos get S tier because it has to be relative. Otherwise, like, if I'm defining the Gundams in Mecha, like, all of them get at least B tier, I think. Yeah, probably. Well, actually, yeah, when I consider, like, the movie Transformers, which the mechanical designs of them I actually hate, like, all of the Gundams would actually probably be in... Actually, all the mobile suits from all of Gundam would be in at least A tier. But then that doesn't make for a very entertaining tier list, does it? So everything is relative. And it'll be the same with shows. Like, overall in shows, all the Gundam shows get S tier. All of them. Even See Destiny, which has problems. But once again, just like saying they're all S tier and this is why, that doesn't make for a very interesting tier list, and nor is it very informative. So it's better to make a very what's the word? It's better to make a tier list that's very I just said it like 5,000 times 2 seconds ago, and yet I forgot it. I'll remember it, I swear. Relative. The tier list has to be, like, ridiculously relative. Or it just doesn't work. There's no point. Because of that, there's a decent chance I won't be able to pass him before the last round. Nope. I would have been able to before the last lap, but nope, not anymore. I also get to see his beautiful livery in the replay. But yeah, because of that, like, while Seed is probably going to get A tier, like, S tier then becomes reserved for my favorite stuff. Which it always is, actually, but, like, if it's not relative, all of Gundam is my favorite stuff. So, like, for instance, Gundam Seed. I love Gundam Seed. But as far as in a Gundam tier list, that would get probably A tier. Probably. Not S. Just because, like, it isn't as good as Iron-Blooded Orphans or Zeta or 00. Wow, I just, like, really rammed him. I gotta click that. Uh-oh. Okay, this is not good. This is, like, really not good. No! And retrying does actually take down your, you're gonna get in the next one, so I might actually not even get 19 or 19 because there's 19. I might only get 18.
3, 2, 1, go!
Man, those scenes have been
3 laps to go.
waiting for their chance to come out since the start of the stream when I almost sneezed but didn't, and then almost sneezed but didn't again. Okay. While I'm on these first two, I need to practice that last turn. Wow, that was just a nice one.
2 laps to go.
Anyway, yeah. Wow. This attempt is just going so beautifully, isn't it? I'll still hopefully win, probably. That sucks. That sucks. That actually sucks so much. Get back here! Okay, that was a lot better.
Okay, 5 laps. Keep it cool.
Okay, now I just need to not mess up every single thing like in the last final lap. Don't. That's illegal. That's more illegal than being a Gundam. So far I'm messing up every single thing like last final lap. I swear, this race is so much harder than the last one. That was just perfect. That was just amazing and great and special and cute and adorable. Almost jumped on him. Enjoy my noises. All I can offer is my sincerest apologies for making those noises. You've got to be kidding me. I can get in front of him. I can't get in front of him. I can't get in front of him. This time I will win. Honestly, I think for their Gundam esports, if they had gone with basically an online multiplayer with a ton of people of Gundam Target and Sight that I was playing yesterday, I feel like that honestly would have been a lot more fun. It doesn't really fit the esports mold they're going after though, but like, I think to an extent Gundam doesn't fit that esports role they're going after, you know? If anything, perhaps make it more like Titanfall. But I think if you were going to do that, you'd probably want to go with mostly early use Steam machines anyway. Possibly even 1 year war only. Or even if you're not going to have the ability to get out of your mobile suit, just like what we got is just, for Gundam Evolution, is just, in general, just like, it's not what, nobody really wanted that, you know? And I do feel like in the end, they're going to find that that comes to bite them. It's got its moment of popularity now, but then everyone's going to go back to playing Battle Operation 2 and Versus. That sucks. Ver. We could also end up seeing a lot of improvement in the game if we actually offer feedback to the devs. It might actually start feeling like Gundam. But that's gonna take a bit, you know? I'm really doing way better in this level, this tribe. 2 seconds better, or no, 3 seconds better on average. Which means 6 seconds better overall. And hoit! I'm never saying hoit again, except for I'm probably going to next time I drift. I must redeem the honor of hoit. Hoit! See, that was one of the best shoots I've done on that turn. Hoi! Okay. You handled this sudden adversity well. You haven't given up on victory yet. Are you trying to tell me that what you are seeking is the perfect race? Is that what you're telling me? Are you trying to prove me wrong? I understand. I understand what you want to say. I know now that you won't listen to me. The final race is up next. I want to cheer you on, but I can't seem to find the right words. Leave me alone for a while.
You've got a new card ready to roll.
The thing about this being a self-insert is like when they say that I'm like what was it? So 20 years. It's gonna be the 79 Grand Prix RTS driver other than Yazuki. I don't remember his name. Giuliano. When they say that I'm like Giuliano, that implies, if I'm just a self-insert, that implies that Giuliano called his opponent's poop blood, and I don't think he did. Which means, therefore, that I am not, or the main character is not a self-insert. And that looks like a Batmobile. This is the final gift from RTS to you. We got a new car for the final race. It's a speed demon capable of going faster than 168 or 186 miles per hour. This is it. Do your best. This is your chance to run the race your way. But no matter what, come back. Come back alive. But also, there is a, come to think about the possibility that it's gotten better since the console network test, which it probably has. I think the hardest thing about this race, honestly... Wait, where's my... Okay, there it is. Is the fact that you get, like, no time, literally no time, to get used to your car before you're like tossed into the race. And of course, I'm pretty much used to all the cars. What? Okay, well, I'm probably not gonna lap 8th place now. Honestly, winning is enough for me. Anyway. If I keep that up, I'm not gonna win. That's how I should be doing it. And see, the thing about it feeling like Apex or Valorant with the gun skin is I don't really play Valorant, but I do actually love Apex. I'm streaming it in a few days, so I better. On, was it Friday? I think it's Friday I'm streaming Apex. Friday or Saturday. Anyway. But it's not Gundam. Not at all. Not even a little bit. Otherwise, Revenant's design wouldn't be so ploopy with its massive shins. Usually, the PRC final car will be almost all red, which I appreciate a lot, especially since it makes me go 3 times as fast. Oh, I actually might be able to lap him. Almost, almost, almost. Yeah! Okay, there we go.
Excellent! Picture perfect finish by Team Solo. Everyone knew you'd leave the competition in the dust. Even I knew it was meant to be. That's right, this race was an all-or-nothing gig for you. If you didn't win the championship in the Grand Prix, your team would have lost everything. You kept your grace under pressure and really came through with flying colors. Your team should really be called Team Speed. So
Team Speed, huh? That would be a terrible name.
A toast to the #1 king in the world, toast to the spirit of Italian racing.
Anyway. Yeah, tomorrow I'm playing Baldur's Gate. And anyone here gets a sneak peek of the surprise that I'm actually playing a so in Baldur's Gate you could make your party members custom made by choosing multiplayer and then just making all of them yourself, which I did with a few of my friends, namely my real life friend who plans on debuting as a VTuber when he can. Mostly so he can do collabs with me. Deet VT, Crystal, the magical girl VTuber one. I forgot what our Twitter handle is. Kasumiyoru and Minikui. You came back. I'm glad. I'm so glad. You won the Grand Prix. You're incredible. A perfect race. You answered that challenge. The challenge that I was afraid to undertake. I was unable to break through that barrier. You showed me that it was possible. Thank you. I'm blessed for meeting a driver like you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Enki Gilbert, the mastermind behind RTS, known as the Lion because of his lion-like ferocity and stoic discipline. But the man was only a shadow of his former self during this Grand Prix. He had never allowed his personal emotions to color his judgment during a race, until now. Perhaps the trigger for this change was the chance meeting with his new driving ace. The harsh words directed at this driver was his way of showing unconditional trust. The weakness he showed during the final GP was perhaps an expression of his paternal feelings towards the driver. After the loss of his son, Giuliano, Gilbert always fought his fear of losing someone important to him. Now that he's won that battle, RTS is a force that must be reckoned with. Jim Leslie, Racing Journal P. Positron. So if you don't know, so this is like a two-part story here that you have to play both this one and the mostly the Japanese one to know. So in the Japanese one, you find out that the manager Yazaki is he used to be a driver for RTS, and in the final race, RTS. And it was both, if I remember correctly, both of their drivers were in second and third place respectively. With Yazaki in second and Giuliano in third. Giuliano was at that point going faster. Giuliano did not yield his track position to, Yazaki, I mean. Yazaki did not yield his track position to Giuliano, who is like his brother. And as a result, Giuliano's life was lost. It took Yazaki so long to get back into racing because he felt as though he had killed Giuliano himself. And evidently, Giuliano, as you find out when you play as you just saw, you find out when you play the Italian one, it seems like Enki, his father, Enki, agrees. And then either way, one of them will get their closure if you win up with a perfect race. Either, as you just saw, Enki will find his closure because he sees his son in the main character and gets closure by that main character that he sees as a reflection of his son doing a perfect race and winning the Grand Prix. Or Yazaki is able to finally fulfill his promise to Giuliano. Although, as he said it, someone else had to fill Giuliano's shoes, that being the player. So that kind of sort of increases the replay value is what's called, yeah, the replay value of the game, which is already pretty high, especially if you want all the color variations, color/tune variations, which means it will take forever. You've gotta play the game something, I don't remember, something like 24 times. Like, I've only been playing for 2.5 hours, and I've won the game twice. But still, that's kind of a huge, it's gonna get kind of boring to play as the same, like, losing intentionally has got to get boring. And by it has got to get boring, I mean it's boring, because I never unlocked that final car, but I did try. Okay. Let's see. I want to put officer there just because. And then comrade I need. It's probably the one I use. And then finally swallow, I think it was. Cataract. Cataract is probably what I'm going to use. Okay. Of course, I already have Nightmare, but I think this version of it is purple? I think it's purple. Or maybe black. Edge of the Earth, as he says it.
3, 2, 1, go!
This car, by the way, is powered by a thermonuclear engine. So given its size, it must be some sort of a hypercompact Monopsky fusion reactor. Can you tell that I really like Gundam based on my constant Gundam references? I am incapable of living for more than a few minutes without making a Gundam reference. It's impossible. I'll die if I don't. Oh, I'm running this race pretty close to perfect, but I'm just not able to catch up to that guy. That wasn't perfect. Where are you gone? Come on. I know you want to be passed by me. That's some weird fetish of yours, isn't it? Come on, you poop machine. This is the really hard turn. As you just saw. I did clear it twice though. I think this card just doesn't have it in it to win. Which means after this, it'll be Cataract's turn. One thing Forza offers that this doesn't is being in a what's it called, being in the, I had a Mazda RX-7 Twerk Stallion, which is the like drift version that I had tuned for to not be a drift car, and there was some it was McLarens. I don't like McLarens. So to beat them, after they like were crushing me in the straights, was very nice. Okay, can this car do it? In the turns, he's definitely got a leg over me, but in the straights, he's over me acceleration-wise too. I'm not going to be making any progress in the turn, so I've simply got to minimize my losses. Seconds to see his taillights. Come to Papa. Or not. I could still technically win, but it's pretty darn unlikely now. There he is. Okay, save that a bit better than the last time. Though I did make the same mistake both times. I can still see his turn lights, or not turn lights, his brake lights. His tail light assembly. Nice and crystal clear. Almost. Get bumped by me. This time I'll crush him. Come on, let me start.
3, 2, 1, go! 3 laps to go.
If I could stay in front of him. Don't get in front of me. That's illegal. You're illegal now. Delling's gonna put you in jail, just like he did with the Gundam Aerial. What was that? Cringe is what it was. Well, you didn't actually put Aerial in jail. You wanted to, though. By the way, I've always thought in the extra trials this car driving itself. It's like, for some reason, it's just weird to imagine another character driving it in the extra trial. I don't know why. That was a bit, late. Oh well. They decided just not to drift there for some reason. Don't get in front of me. I have an old pair of glasses, which means I'm technically a guy with glasses, and you wouldn't pass a guy with glasses, would you? Just because they're not my glasses and they're my mother's old prescription glasses that are broken doesn't mean I'm not technically a guy with glasses. I do have them. Wow, that's just perfect. That's just amazing. Okay. Let's see if I can, like, not mess up this drift somehow. No! Now I'm probably gonna lose. Come on. You could press. There's a pedal right next to your accelerator that you haven't really pressed yet. It's really fun to just press down on it really hard for the rest of the race. You should try that. It's like, well, it's like long. Well, the accelerator is like long and skinny. You should this other special pedal that you should press is like wide and thin. You should just keep pressing it. It's really fun. The back of your car will light up red more than it does. Look, if you also, like, you'll be behind me for most of the race, but then when I get halfway done with the race, all of a sudden you'll be in front of me until I pass you. And then I'll be in front of you again, but then I'll be behind you again once I pass the halfway mark. Do not get in front of me, you stupid... What's wrong with you? Do you realize how evil and racist it is to get in front of me? Did he just bump into something? Do not. I believe I just said do not. Yeah, that's right. Be behind me. Yeah, that's right. Bump into my butt. You're not gonna get in front of me. You're not gonna. I'm not even gonna look back because I know you're not going to, because you would never even think about doing something so rude. Every kind of mean-ist that could be, it is. Racist, sexist, homophobic. That doesn't end with ist, but yeah, also every phobic. Like, it's somehow even fat-phobic, even though I only weigh 120 pounds. Though for the most part, I'm not against being fat phobic. Most of the time when people are overweight, it's because they don't have enough self-control to not be. Not all the time though, and to those that it's where that's not the case, my heart truly goes out to them. Okay, drifting, trying to do a correctional drift, which is about the worst thing I could have done there. Now, why do I drift at the end? I always have to. I have to drift directly into the wall at the end. That's how it has to be. I got an extra car. Anyway, yeah, that's where it's that's where I'm gonna end it. Yeah, tomorrow I'm doing a Baldur's Gate stream, and that's gonna be great. And then yeah, tomorrow at 6 o'clock p.m. EST, or not EST, EDT. I'm playing Baldur's Gate. And then Friday at 8 p.m. EDT, I'm playing Apex. And then Saturday at 8 p.m. EDT, I'm playing a game called The Messenger, which is it's similar to Ninja Gaiden. And then Sunday at 5 p.m. EDT, I'm playing Stray, which is a adventure game where you play as a cat. So yeah, tomorrow at 6 EDT. Be there. Or be Lord to see their friend. So, yeah. See you next time. Bye.